All right, in this session of wisdom with my dad, we're going to do camper living. All right, Dad. So, how long would you say that you've actually lived in a camper off and on?
A minimum of 5 years with two different kind of trailers. One was a California Comfort, I believe it was a 28 foot, and the other one was a Yellowstone 31 foot camper.
All right. What situations made it to where you had to live in the camper?
I worked on the road, and for my wife and family, Cy, to be with us, they came with us, and Jan, my wife, homeschooled Cy at the time, and although I might have had different opinion now, as in retrospect, I'm sure glad she and Cy came with us. It made it more tolerable, just working on the road with family, with me, and of course a good home cooked meal too.
And the other situation would be, I guess, kind of like what Stephanie are doing now, is to build a home.
Yes, that way you can be out there. You don't have to travel as much, and you can see the progress yourself. And it's a good deal. A lot of people do that around here, or they'll build a garage first and live in a garage until they have the, whether it's assets to start building the home they want to live in.
All right. Any good stories?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good stories. One time, my wife thought it would be a good idea to get some sleep while we were traveling, and this is when we first started out in our California Comfort. So she, instead of riding with me, decided to go back in the camper and take a nap while we were driving. Not a good idea. This was before the age of cell phones, so she couldn't tell me she was having a miserable time because all that trailer was doing was bouncing up and down and all over sideways. And she was in there hours before we stopped. So don't do that. Don't ride in the trailer. And it's probably against the law in many states anyway nowadays to ride in the trailer while you're actually in transit.
Wish we would have had a camera.
Another thing too, and while you're young you can do this, but don't travel too far during the day. Plan your trip. Plan where you're going to stop. If you got animals, have a nice place for them too. So it makes it much more enjoyable planning your trip, and you're safe, and things will happen when you get tired. Accidents can happen more when you get tired.
One thing I remember growing up is we had not a lot of animals, but it was kind of funny looking, because Dad would be pulling the camper and he'd have a dog house in the back of the camper with the dog sticking out, and the cat would sometimes get up there when we were parked, so it kind of looked silly, like we were part of a carnival or something.
We actually did have a person come to us and ask if we were part of the circus.
So that was funny. Any tips, pointers?
It's important that you get, as far as when you're traveling down the road and windy conditions, that you get a sway bar and you use your sway bar. That'll prevent accidents from, and just it sway, and that's the reason for it. A sway bar is more accurately called an anti-sway bar, to keep your trailer from swaying back and forth. It can be really dangerous.
How about actual parked and actual camping?
Parking, unless you plan on just staying there just a few hours. Get your jacks out. If you have hydraulic jacks, that's fine, but level it. level it up so it'll be more comfortable for you in sleeping too, because you don't want to feel like you're rolling downhill or out of bed all the time. And you will, even if it's a little bit out of level. And it'll help your water drain too, and you have to empty the gray water, black water.
Is that it?
I think that'll do for now.
All right. This is Sessions of Wisdom with Grandpa David. Thank you.
Bye-bye. From Walnut Woods in Independence, Kansas.